In this presentation, I'll be talking about my work on Lyman alpha coupling and heating at cosmic dawn. I will start with the basics of the 21 centimeter signal. It is defined as the difference in brightness of 21 centimeter and the CMB. The mathematical expression for it can be put in this form. Over here, XHI is the neutral hydrogen fraction. YP, omegas and H are the usual cosmological parameters. Z is the redshift, T gamma is the CMB temperature, and Ts is the spin temperature. Spin temperature quantifies the relative population of the hyperfine levels. It is defined through this relation. It is this quantity which captures the astrophysics of the intergalactic medium. It is affected by mainly two processes at cosmic dawn. First is the CMB, which affect it through the three Einstein processes, and second is the Lyman alpha photons, which affect the population through the Wauthausen field effect. When we make a balance of these two processes, the expression for the spin temperature is obtained in this form. Over here, as I explained earlier, T gamma is the CMB temperature, Tk is a gas temperature, X alpha is the Lyman alpha coupling, which quantifies the strength of the Wauthausen field effect relative to CMB. Having explained the basics of the 21 centimeter signal, I would now like to show the signal detected by the AGIS collaboration in 2018. The most interesting feature of the signal is its depth, which is found to be more than double than even the most optimistic models predicted by the standard physics. The first drop in the signal is thought to be because of the Lyman alpha coupling, and the rise in the signal is probably because of the X-ray heating. The Lyman alpha photons play an important role in setting the absorption feature of the 21 centimeter signal. Recently, Ghara and Millema have argued that a strong Lyman alpha background is ruled out because of the edges measurement. In this work, we have studied the scattering and heating effect by the Lyman alpha photons, and we re-evaluate the argument of Ghara and Millema. To study the interaction of neutral hydrogen atom and Lyman alpha photons, we solve an appropriate radiative transfer equation. It is solved under the diffusion approximation. This first term over here is indicative of the diffusion approximation. The second term is the recoil term, which captures the effect of recoiling of hydrogen atom when it collides with the Lyman alpha photon. The third term is captures the effect of the expanding universe. Gamma S is known as the Sobolev parameter. Here I have shown a typical solution for the Lyman alpha spectrum. On y-axis we have the Jx normalized with the background, so that far from the resonance this value goes to 1. The shaded region of this absorption feature is indicative of the heating caused by the Lyman alpha photons. The offset in this feature is because of the extra cosmological redshift. Once we have obtained the Lyman alpha spectrum, we can write down the expression of Lyman alpha coupling. Intuitively, we expect it to be proportional to the background intensity. With more rigorous calculations, it can be put in this form. Here, J0 is some combination of fundamental parameters and CMB temperature, and S is the factor which captures the effect of spectral distortions. We would now like to see the heating and cooling mechanism at the microscopic level. Consider two simple pictures, one in which the hydrogen atom is moving away from the source and one in which it is moving towards the source. In the lab frame, we will see that the atoms that are moving away from the source will accept photons of higher frequencies, and these photons will speed up the hydrogen atom and thereby causing a heating effect. The opposite will be true for the second picture, in which it is moving towards the source. These photons will slow down the atom and cause a cooling effect. In a static universe, both processes are equally likely, and heating is cancelled exactly by the cooling. But in an expanding universe, this picture is more likely to occur and heating process is slightly more dominant. Once we have the volumetric heating rate for the Lyman alpha photons, we can insert it into an equation of this form. This equation governs the evolution of gas kinetic temperature with time, or equivalently the redshift. The first term in this equation is the adiabatic cooling term, and this second one is the Lyman alpha heating term. The final ingredient in our theoretical setup is the model of Lyman alpha background. We assume that the Lyman alpha emission tracks the star formation rate. For that, we need to model the star formation rate in the redshift range 30 to 14, for which no real data exists. We can estimate the star formation rate by calculating the rate at which baryons collapse in the dark matter halos per unit volume. Also, we use the population 2 type stars to model the emission spectra of Lyman alpha photons. The two main questions that we would like to answer in this work are: what is the correct expression of Lyman alpha heating rate, and does the signal detected by the edges collaboration rule out strong Lyman alpha background? Now we will see some results. In the left panel, I am showing the evolution of the gas kinetic temperature. The y-axis is in log scale. On the x-axis, we have the redshift. In the right panel, I'll show the 21 centimeter signal. We first consider a very simple universe in which there is no Lyman alpha radiation. In such a scenario, the universe just cools adiabatically and the resulting TK is shown by a red solid line. For comparison, I have also shown the CMB temperature by a dotted line. No signal is obtained for an adiabatically cooling universe because there is no contrast between Ts and T gamma. Now we switch on the Lyman alpha radiation. Our TK evolution is shown by a solid green line, and on the right panel we have the corresponding 21 centimeter signal. Also shown are the results from previous literature for exactly the same astrophysics and the model parameters. As you can see, there is a significant difference in our results. GM19 predicts larger TK values, and which obviously affects the 21 centimeter signal. The reason for this discrepancy is that GM19 used an incorrect formula for Lyman alpha heating rate. Here I am showing the two different types of formula for the Lyman alpha heating. They both are correct and their equivalence can be established with some algebraic manipulations. The expression used by Ghara and Mellema is this. Looking at the above two expressions, it becomes quite clear that there has been a mix-up in the formulas. For completeness, we can also make a numerical comparison of their expression with one of the correct expressions. The ratio has this type of functional dependence. Its typical value, say at redshift 20, comes out to be around 100. Now we see how Tk and delta Tb are affected by changing the emission strength of Lyman alpha. For that, we can scale the emission by a constant factor denoted by F alpha. Clearly, if this factor is higher, there is more heating, as evident from the left panel. The 21 centimeter signal is shifted to higher Z for a stronger emission. Finally, for completeness, I have also added the 21 centimeter signal measured by edges collaboration. Clearly, there is a considerable difference in theory and experiment. For this, many new physics models have been proposed, such as excess cooling of baryons or an excess radio background. I would now like to summarize my presentation. In this work, we modeled the 21 centimeter signal with only Lyman alpha coupling and heating. We investigated various expressions of Lyman alpha heating in literature. Our main conclusion is that a strong Lyman alpha background is not ruled out and is in fact necessary, although not sufficient, given the edges claim. This is contrary to the conclusion of Ghara and Mellema. We also discussed the reason for this discrepancy and identified the shortcomings in the theory of recent literature. Thank you.